So two things. First of all, give us a health update on Barker, and then how did you guys get better with not playing?
Yeah, Barker's day to day. She has a fractured wrist. We're going to see if it sets and kind of heals itself. It's a small fracture. So she's out for 4 weeks at a minimum. We're constantly getting x-rays to see how it's progressing. And then after 4 weeks, we'll make a decision if she's able to come back or if it's going to require surgery, and she'll be out for the year.
So she's out 4 weeks right now, and then it's day-to-day, or?
She's out 4 weeks as of now. Really 3 when you count last week. And in terms of, continuing your question, in terms of how we got better, we got a lot of reps. We had 5 players in practice all of last week, and so those just 5. Just because of other nagging things that some players needed to rest and get some recovery on. And so we got a lot of reps. We had, obviously, in the last couple of games, players playing out of position, so it gave them more time to get comfortable in that position and maneuver some things around. I think our pace got better. And then we added some more players this week, so we had 7 the last 2 days. And so literally I wake up in the morning and check the injury report. I go to bed at night and check the injury report. Hadn't been the same 7 the entire time we've been there. So really proud of their resilience during this time, given the fact that they are taking finals as well. They're off today, and then we'll button down and start preparing for SMU tomorrow and Friday.
So that in mind is she was logging so many minutes inside, and you a lot of times went with 4 perimeter players. Mm-hmm. So how do you adjust for that moving forward without her for at least 4 weeks?
Well, that's what it's going to look like. You know, we've got 2 post players. We've got Aaliyah Patty and Jada Malone. And so we will probably play 4 guards on 1 post and just let the 2 of them sub out for each other. I'm not saying the 2 of them won't ever be on the floor at the same time. Really, it just depends on how everything is going. But we will play a 4 guard lineup for quite a while.
I don't imagine you'll ever shoot 15 for 53 again.
I hope not.
Surely not. But for Sydney, young player, obviously, how do you make sure that, doesn't get down on herself after 1 game like that?
You know, she's very confident. She's someone who, in some cases, rushed her shot. You know, she wants so badly to help the team that some of her shots were forced and rushed. And I think it's a great opportunity for her to learn on film some of the things we've been saying: slow down, make hard cuts, wait on your screens, make different reads, learning to read your screens better. So she worked on a ton of that. And just in terms of just what we can carry from that Little Rock game is the 4th quarter, being down the way we were and to come back. And obviously it wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but it put us in another time and score situation, which is what a young team needs.
I know you spoke about it a little bit, but how disappointing is it not going to Vegas? Just kind of a little bit behind the decision.
Yeah, actually, it was a chance for our players to obviously go somewhere before Christmas and play in a great state and in a great environment against good teams. We're fortunate that Purdue is going to come here. We're going to get to play that game. Just given the circumstances surrounding that tournament, some things that transpired during Thanksgiving, it wasn't necessarily the same tournament director, but some people had some crossover in terms of the management of the tournament. And just given the state of women's basketball, and obviously anytime we operate, we want to make sure that the safety of our players is number one, and there's a standard of experience that is expected for Texas A&M women's basketball. So after just really having some hard conversations, we thought the best thing to do was to try to get Purdue to come here, and they graciously agreed to do that.
You play on the 21st, and then for Christmas, and then you've got a game, I guess it's the 28th, 29th maybe?
29th.
Kind of a long break. They don't have school. Would you rather have more ball games, or are you looking forward to the chance that they get a chance to rest and there's a lot more practice time, because you do have conference play that's creeping up on you?
Yeah, I think it's a good time for them to go home. Some of our players have not been home since they returned in August, and so it's a fine balance. Basketball has become a year-round sport, right? And so it's a chance for them to go home, see their families, come back, and then get to work. So we're happy with the way the schedule played out.
So what about the key matchups with SMU?
Really good team, very experienced, playing well. Ton of ball screen action that we're going to have to defend very well. They're going to press us. They're going to play aggressive man-to-man. So, taking care of the basketball is going to be really key for us, and just, making sure we are really sound defensively and then execute on the offensive end. So for us, it's about trying to create more possessions, and the first way to do that is to not turn it over.
So I was going to say, again, run 4 guards a lot in one. So to get down to what's going to be more key, like you mentioned, turnovers or better shot
shot selection when you're not gonna have the offensive rebound power, you know?
Well, I think it's both. I think we've got to create possessions, and obviously more possessions give us more chances to hopefully shoot the basketball. So creating possessions by not turning it over, by going to get offensive rebound, letting our defense create more possessions for us. There's several ways we've got to do that. I do think hopefully we are a little bit more comfortable in our shot selection given the time we've had to practice it, and so we'll find out.
I know that injuries is a tough deal to have to coach around. Is it tough to get your team better when you don't have the numbers that you want?
Well, we'd like to have more numbers, sure. I think the 7 that have practiced over the last week have gotten better. Will that show up on Sunday? I have no idea. But, like we tell our team, we're becoming, and you don't sow and harvest in the same season. So we may not see the benefit of what we did last week and today and yesterday and Monday on Sunday. We may not see it next week against Purdue, but eventually it's going to show up. And that's what we're focused on is the process, not microwave instant results.
Is it hard to make sure that they don't have that microwave instant results, that they, kind of keep their eye on the prize?
Well,
although everybody's looking at the
Yeah.
schedule and they're counting wins and losses.
Well, that's why unless they're in our huddle every day, they have no say-so in what goes on in our program.
So I like to be simple, so against SMU, how many players you think are going to be available to play? Like 12, like 15?
No, I don't know. I don't have an answer to your question. What I can tell you is that we've had 7. The last 2 days, we've had 7 players. Those 7, unless something changed from last night to today, will be available. Will we gain a couple of more? I hope so. I don't know that.
So what injuries are kind of...
Well, Mackenzie Green hurt her ankle really, really bad against Rice and toughed it out the next 2 games against Kansas and Little Rock. So hopefully getting some of the swelling out of her ankle and making her feel better. Is there anything wrong? Is anything torn, broken? No. But you know how an ankle can be. And so the question there is she able to play for 2 games, or do we get her better and have her for conference play? So that's a judgment that is left up to the doctors and our trainer, and we will, ride the decision they make on that. Sydney Bowles. Yep, she fell really hard against Little Rock, came back and played, but she's just got some back stuff going on. So again, when you are already low in number, just making sure we don't do anything to knock someone else out permanently. So we'll see.
So what's the fewest players you've ever gone into a game? I mean, obviously this is kind of rare.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. As a head coach, this will be the fewest. As an assistant, 1 year we played with 6 for the entire year. Wow. So I've been through something like this before as an assistant coach. We played with 6 for the entire SEC conference play. But as a head coach, this will be the fewest number that we've gone into a game with.
So in that situation, you have to be pretty good with controlling your fouls, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What I will say is that team was more experienced than this one is, and so they knew how to play, how to keep themselves out of foul trouble, how to pace themselves. That's something that we've talked about a ton in the past week. Not doing anything to take ourselves off the floor on Sunday and next week will be extremely important.
Coach, this is the first time that we've gotten to talk to you since Brittany Griner's release.
Yeah.
That's been a large national news, obviously, for reasons, and of course in your sport as well. So
Yeah.
what were your initial thoughts when you heard that?
Just great relief. Really, really happy for Brittany and her family, and not only just the women's basketball, but just for everyone who's following that story. Can't imagine, what it is she's been through and what that feels like. So just great relief that she's, physically whole and that she's back home. And then obviously prayers for, other prisoners who did not, have the fortune of being released.
Thank you.
Thank you.